Well, hey, folks, you're still with us here, so that's a good sign, right? So that's me on my 11th birthday, very exuberant, as you can see. And I guess I just want to tell you a little bit about her, this girl that's up there, because despite what the picture would share with you, I was actually a really sad and scared little kid. And a few months before that picture was taken, my daddy died very, very tragically, very suddenly, and it was one of the most sort of shocking pieces of information sort of ever been shared with me in my life. And I share this with you because what I'm hoping to talk to you about today is about the power of connection. And what I remember after finding out this information, the first vivid memory that I have out of that was bursting through the front door and running, sprinting 4 doors down to the little girl who's sitting to my left. She was my very, very best friend. And we were just so shocked, and she was sort of there in that little kid space with me. I can only imagine what our families were thinking, like, oh my gosh, how do you process that with your little kid? But it was clear to me in that moment, that connection with her was what would be the salve to the pain that I had. And when I was asked to talk about the power of connection, that's really the memory that came to me. And what I realize now, looking back at that, is really something I think we probably all really know, is that the tragic things, the hard things, the difficult things that happen to us in our life, often, although we may not realize it at the time, are building the very tools we're going to need later when we're called to serve others. And that has certainly been true for me. The power of connection, just the need to connect with others, has always had a very powerful place in my life. I honestly believe I was put here on earth to be a connector. And like a magnet, it's killing me not to come and talk to all of you. It's just, I feel drawn to other people, and somehow they seem drawn to me. And what I've learned is that when you build sort of these deep connections with folks, when you are able to build a relationship with someone and activate that with the passion for community, really anything is possible. And in fact, a reason that I was asked to come here today to speak to you is because I chair and I founded an effort called Impact 100 Richmond. And it's really just based on this exact principle, this idea of connecting women and changing lives. And it's a really very simple idea. It's a collective giving organization. We partner with the Community Foundation, that's some of us, and it's all volunteer-driven. It's open to anybody who wants to join. And we started off with this really, really simple idea. Your mind will be blown by how simple it is. It's 100 women to give $1,000 each, and we would pull those funds, and we would all vote where the money would go. That's just basically the simplicity of the whole thing. And what has happened out of that has been an unbelievable journey. I'll give you an example. Last year, we invested that $100,000, we all voted, and it went to the YWCA, and it's helped transform their model for how they shelter domestic violence victims from a communal model, like a dorm sort of a model, to private shelter space. That is really absolutely the best. It's cheers to them. It's through the vision of the amazing, YWCA that has happened. But that money helped to spearhead a lot of what needed to happen there. And so the magic of all of this is it's been done by volunteers. And every aspect of Impact 100, all the decisions have been made by those volunteers. And that has really been amazing. We're in our 5th year, and we're about to mark $500,000 invested in the local community through this collective giving power. Literally people just coming together to make this happen. And it's grown way beyond the initial vision of 100 women and this $1,000 to be hundreds of women. And we're really at the precipice of being able to give multiple grants here in Richmond. We're so excited about that. So because of this sort of mind-blowing snowball that kind of occurred because all of us came together, And because I'm sort of the one who stepped out front and just said, hey, why don't we do it? People come to me a lot and say, how did you do that? I mean, how did you get that started? I could never do anything like that. And I guess what I would love to tell you is it hasn't been hard at all. I mean, if there's anything you could walk away with, it has not been hard at all. It has been literally as simple as making friendships. And I want to just share a little bit about that. I think we all know to create authentic relationships, I mean real relationships with people, you have to be in the heart space to be able to be molded and shaped by somebody else. And that can be challenging to get to that space. So I want to just tell you a little bit about how I got into the heart space to be able to be open to create the kinds of friendships that could make community change, so that maybe you could be more thoughtful in how you connect with others to perhaps do some of the ideas that would be powerful for our community. So first and foremost, I just put it out there. I just took a risk, and I allowed my sort of energy to be free for the taking, and was totally open, and I prepared for utter failure. I mean, total utter failure. Like, this is never going to work, but I'm just going to go for it. And through that sort of vulnerable, innovative space, it really did start to connect with folks, and I will tell you this, I did my homework. I worked to build a compelling story that I thought other people would connect to. And what I knew from doing that would be that my ideas probably wouldn't necessarily stick. But if I could get enough people around the table, we could shape something that would be so much better. And that's exactly what happened. It's not anywhere what I thought it would be. It's something so much bigger than what I initially thought of. I think I was in a space where I was really willing and open to new connections and new kinds of people, and that really drove a lot of reaching out in very purposeful ways. And we all worked hard to create a real sense of community and communication. The right level of communication is really important when you start something like this, so that people know what is going on and feel connected to the effort. All right, I know it's late in the day, so I want to prepare you for the most important thing I'm going to say today, and that is, honestly, if you do anything like this where you're connecting with other people, have fun, please. Have fun. Have fun. I'm telling you, have fun. If you're not having fun, it's possible something is not right. And so you need to really reflect on that. Some of what we need to do in this community is dirty, and it's messy, and it may not seem very fun, but I'm talking about what's going on inside. And that really has the attitude of fun and adventure that we have had with this incredible group of leadership and volunteers has really driven this bond. I mean, we have been really scared that it wouldn't work. And that sort of real fear, bonds you like nothing else. And so that has driven us and made our success that much sweeter. Am I right? Am I right? Yes. Yes. So, I think what I feel is that when you bring together innovative ideas, innovative thinking, risk-taking, and you mix that with real vulnerability from yourself and from the others around, and you mix that in the pot with some real live passion, just some drive to get things done, it can have powerful effects, and it certainly has in our case. And I would urge all of you, I really would challenge all of you. I have met many of you now in this room because I worked the room a little bit. And I know that there are people sitting here right now who have ideas or who have innovations to ideas that are currently now that they could change a little and make something really, really important happen that would better everything for all of us. And I know you do, because I can see it in your eyes. You're shiny-eyed people, and I can see that. And I would urge you to really think about what you could do to nurture that idea. And perhaps the first thing you need to do is just tell a friend about it. And regardless of the response you get from that, be willing to tell somebody else, and be willing to tell somebody else after that, and be shaped and grown yourself through that process. And I really feel that if you do that, you will have powerful outcomes. I urge you to use the power of connection to change yourself, to work for you, and to work for Richmond. Thank you for letting me share my story.